Good night, here one Johnson. I got this good and got this good all the time. My name is Summer J. Spears Divine. I'm making you a little shout news and a word on tonight. We're gonna talk about the abortion. We're gonna talk about abortion like Texas threatened doctor, hospital who provide court allowed abortion. Now you're gonna have the judge gonna say yeah, but then you're gonna have the Republican gonna come and try to petition for her to prevent her not to have the surgery. So after receiving a fatal diagnosis, Kay Cox asked a Texas judge, to allow an abortion in order to protect her health and the future fertility. The judge agreed. Immediately after the Attorney General of Texas threatened to jail her doctor and to sue the hospital if they provide abortion care. Now, this woman, life is in danger. Her life is in danger. And the doctor said, the doctor just discovered that the baby has a rare genetic condition. So will almost certainly result in a stillborn or death soon after birth. So this woman will have to go 9 months. And when she give birth to this baby, the baby automatically gonna be stillborn, gonna be dead. And who knows if she gonna have complication or not. And the doctor saying she have to have this surgery. It don't make sense to go to 9 months if the baby gonna already be stillborn. So Miss Cox, Kay Cox, she asked the judge to make a exception to Texas law to allow her to get the abortion, so she can protect her health and also her future her future friends. So which is threat. Now the judge agreed. Now he agreed. Order allowing her to attain medical care. So he agreed for her to have the medical care. So then the Republican came with their attorney, threatened to jail her doctor, in the hospital if anyone perform or provide this abortion care. So they make sure she don't have this abortion. Now he now petitioned the Texas Supreme Court, to prevent Kay Cox from getting the productive care that her doctor said that she need. From getting a section to the state abortion bank. The abortion is banned in Texas. So the judge agreed to order allowing her to obtain the medical care. So the judge had allowed her, agreed for her to have the medical care. Without the abortion, her life is threatened, her health problem, or death. So she either gonna have health problem or either she gonna have death because she might have complications trying to get this stillborn baby out. So I request for abortion to be unbanned because I had just talked about that November the 23rd to establish legal abortion. So Kay Cox can get so she can get the proper care that she needs and free the doctors in hospitals from jail time. So I request that abortion be lifted and this woman can have this procedure, from this woman from not dying, you know, she have to have this procedure before she died. So I request that all women across the nation, all abortion to be established and be lifted, for legal abortion and health care that she needs. You know, so so this on abortion right here. We need the abortion to be established, to be lifted, from being banned. Because a woman having life threatened, and this woman got to still carry a baby 9 months. And you don't know if this woman is gonna live, if any woman gonna live or die from carrying a stillborn child inside of them. So it's dangerous, for a woman to carry a 9-month baby, you know, after her doctor told her the baby is stillborn. You know, so she cannot get the proper care that she needs. You know, that's why all across the nation, this abortion needs to be unbanned. You know, so these women can get the proper care that they need. Because when they have life threatening on their life, you know, complication from their pregnancy, and the baby needs to come out, but you got the abortion ban, you know, they cannot get the proper care that they need. You know, so, uh, and I also have a word for you tonight. Esther was called to save her people. And you know, a lot of times you'll be put in a position at the right time. You know, so Esther thought she just was going to be a queen, but God put her in position to save people. You know, and you know, a lot of time, you know, you think things are coincidence. You know, she just become to be the queen, and then next thing you know, she getting an order about her people about to be killed and stuff. So it's not a coincidence. That was all God planning. You know, so Esther chapter 2, it's gonna come from a whole lot of chapters of Esther. So Mordecai and Esther are Jews, you know, so he had taken her as his own daughter because her father and mother had died, and he told her not to reveal her family background. So she gonna be with the king, but the cousin told her, don't reveal our background. You know, don't let nobody know that we are Jews. You know, so Mordecai entered Esther into the beauty contest, you know, and she completed 12 months of beauty treatment. Now, out of all the other women, the king was attracted to Esther, you know, and she won his favor and approved more than any of the other virgins. Now, he set a royal crown on her head and made her queen. The king, her bank, you know, so the king had set a banquet for her. You know, so Esther must have made quite an impression on the king. You know, so many they had many beautiful women there. You know, that's just like Esther. I mean to say Ruth. That's just like Ruth. They had other women there, but then Ruth came along. That because when God get involved, you know, it gonna always, you know, you gonna be on true. Not just like that Ruth. Ruth got there, you know, and she met Boaz, you know, and Boaz was attracted to her, and he wound up and married her. So this the same thing happened here with Esther. They had so many beautiful women there for the contest, you know, but the king was attracted to Esther. You know, the king was attracted to Esther. You know, it pleased him very much, you know, but he, you know, they had other women there, you know, but he chose Esther. Now, God had placed Esther on the throne even before Jews had faced the possibility of completing the destruction, so that when trouble came, you know, a person would already be in position to help. Now, see, God already know what's going to happen. See, God make plans out. See, God already know the beginning to the end. And he always make plans out already. You know, so he already heard, you know, already knew. That's just like what Jesus story on his mission. God already had written all that out. For them to take him to jail, that was already written out. For them to it was already written out. Everything already be written out. So Esther's story was already written out. And God just placed her in position for the time when that time comes. You know, so God already wrote the plan out. You know, he already wrote the plan out, complete destruction, you know, that the people came to already be in position. And guess what? The main person that's supposed to kill the Israelite, you know, the Jews is the Israelite, God people. The main person that's supposed to kill all the Israelite, God put him in position. Put him in position. You know, now he gonna be honored and everything else, and that was all God planned. You know, so the Jews is God people, and Esther is the Jews. Now, God is faithful to protect his chosen people. Now, his plan sent the Messiah to the earth as a Jew. Now, Jesus came down here as a Jew because David was a Jew. You know, and so God had heard that they wanted to destroy the Jews and God people. You know, so God's plan was to place Esther in a position when a time for the step forward and help her people. See, God had everything in place. You know, for her to be a beauty queen was just all part of God's plan to already have her on that position already. You know, so when that time comes, she'll be able to step forward and help her people. So Esther cousin Mordecai had uncovered a conspiracy, the plot that Haman wanted to destroy the Jews. Now, King honored Haman, elevate him, and giving him a seat of honor higher than others. Now, he getting a position. He about to be elevated. So having promotion was advanced to set his seat above all the princes now who were with him. So the king promoted Haman, and Haman was an evil man, but God had a purpose in allowing him to be promoted. So God had allowed him to be promoted for a reason, so he can be in position, in that power. God wanted to give him that power, because he gonna be the one gonna set order to kill all the Jews. So God promoted him for a reason, knowing that he wanted to kill all Jews, God people. And I have Haman in position in Esther. Now he gonna have both of them in position. So the king had want everyone to kneel down. Now the king is honoring Haman, giving them a promotion and everything else. So the king want everyone to kneel down, pay honor to him, but Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him no attention. Now see the Jews, they're gonna be faithful. Remember the three guys to burn them and I put out 3-4 days ago? There was Jews under God. And see, they're gonna respect God's rules, and so they're not gonna dishonor and credit God. Now he wanted everybody to kneel down, but Monica gonna be the main one. He gonna be determined, to came from his faith in God. See, he have faith in God. He did not take a poll first, but he had courage to stand alone. Now remember, he heard that Haman wanted to destroy all Jews. But yet having learned who Mordecai people was. Now see, he didn't know who Mordecai was. He didn't know he was Jewish. He didn't know anything about Mordecai's background. But he about to check into it now. So he wants to kill Mordecai. Now see, Haman, he don't like Jews. And so when he find out about Haman, that he is a Jew, he gonna really hate this man. He gonna hate this man. And you know why they don't like the Jews? Because they under God. He said because who he believed in, which is God, and that's the reason why he don't like none of the Jews. And especially when he found that Mordecai is a Jew, he really don't like him. But yet, having learned who Mordecai people was, he scorns the idea of killing only Mordecai. Now, he just wanted to kill Mordecai. But when he found out who he is and who he represents under, then he wanted to kill Mordecai and all his people. So instead, Haman looked for ways to destroy Mordecai and his people. So Haman enjoyed the power. See, God gave him power. See, God, that was the reason why God put him in position, so he can have the power and do what he wanted to do, And so God already had Esther in position, So Haman enjoyed the power, of the position. Now he was enraged when Mordecai did not respond. So Haman's anger was not directly just towards Mordecai, but towards what Mordecai stood for. Who he stood for was God. So the Jewish dedication to God, now he hated a group of people because of the difference of their belief. And see, that's what Jesus always said. Before he left the second time, he told the disciples, you gonna get talked about, beat down, and everything else because who you was under. Because who you are. So remember, you're gonna be hate because of him. And the Israelite is being hated because they're under God. He said he hated a group of people because the differences of their belief. They believe in God. You know, all the people, all the Jews that believe in God, and then when he found out that Monica is a Jew too, and he already didn't like them as it is, because at first he was going to just destroy Monica, but he had to look and dig in his background and find out about Monica. When he found out Monica is a Jew, he was like, oh no, oh no. So now Haman had said to the king, there's a certain people, dispersed among the people in all the provinces of your kingdom who keep themselves separated. Because God had the Israelites all separated from the other nation. And so he's telling the king something about Monica so the king can place an order to hang him. But he's not going to tell the name. He's just going to say certain people. It's among the people of provinces of being separated. So now he telling the king about Monica. But did not say his name. So now Esther with the king did not tell him her background. Now Mordecai, now he gonna want her to help him. But you told me not to tell the king my background. Now she got to tell him about her background. She got to tell him who she is in order for him to help her. So the king don't know exactly who he's setting the order against. But Haman make a false and representation of the Jews and their character to the king. Now the enemy of God people could not give them such a bad treatment as they do if they did not first give them a bad name. Now he tried to mess their character. He tried to give them a bad name just because who they believe. So when Mordecai had learned of all that had been done, he had torn his clothes and he was bitter and hurt. But now he trying to see how he would tell Esther. Because she both them Jews. And now he got to tell Esther, Haman wants to kill all our people, and what you going to do now? So now Monica reported to Esther, everything and told her, don't be silenced, about our people. Don't be ashamed of our people. Do something. Do something. Talk to the king. So relieve and deliver from the Jews that will arise, from another place. Now who know but that you have to come, to the royal position for such a time as this. She went to apply for the beauty queen, but God put her in position for a time like this here. For the time like this here to save your people. So after the decree to kill the Jews was given Mordecai and Esther, they could have decided to save only themselves, but they wanted for God intervention instead. Because they could have decided themselves. They could have decided themselves, but they knew that God was going to intervene anytime. So they saw that God had placed them in a position for a purpose that decides the moment and act. Now, Mordecai, he acknowledged that Esther, God put you in place for a time like this here. So they realized and they hurried up and acted on it. So after had told him, get all the Jews together, Tell them to fast for 3 days, and I'll be there. So they she realized, both of them realized, that they're there, that Esther is in position for this time. So they saw that God had placed them in a position for a purpose. So they seized the moment in their act. That Esther was a queen and she was powerful, with the king. But she still need God protection. God protection is the best protection. Now she under the king that's so powerful. But guess what? God powerful than him. She'll be protected more under God than the king. So she prayed to God and she fast and told them to fast, so they all fast for 3 days. So now Esther to speak with the king, about her background. Now she gotta tell him about the background first. For him to try to save her, that she's a Jewish and she need his help to help her people. So Esther requests to the king to save her people. So it was granted to her. For Esther had told her side of the story of Haman. Did not say that it was Monica. She said it was Haman. So now God have Esther in the right position at the right time. Sometimes you might think you out of place, but a lot of time you right in the place that God was. Just like Joseph. He was in the pit. Now they throw him in the pit, so he probably figured, "Boy, why I'm in the pit? You say I'm gonna be this, you say I'm gonna be that, but I'm in a pit." A lot of time he was in a pit, but he was there for the right reason, for the right reason. God had somebody to get him and pull him out of that pit, and so he landed on the land just where God wanted him at. Just what God saw. A lot of times it's not a coincidence. We just got to accept what we got to accept where we at, and have to realize that God placed us there. We might be uncomfortable with certain situation, but then we have to realize God placed us here. God will put you in a position that you don't think you're supposed to be there. It might be great, it might not be great. You might be happy or you might be uncomfortable. But a lot of times God placed you in position for a reason. He placed Esther at a beauty passion for a reason. She thinks she was gonna be a beauty king, but God set her there for a reason. God set her in position for this time like this here. So Esther requests to the king to save her people after she told him who she is. She's a Jew. So now she told the king that I'm a Jew also, but someone wants to kill all my people. So the king like, who wants to do that to your people? Who? She said Haman. And Haman, right under his nose, had warned him to place an order for Mordecai, but he ain't even told it was Mordecai. The king disagreed and said yes. So when Esther told her side of the story, Haman did not say that it was Mordecai. Because when Haman placed the order, he did not say it was Mordecai. He just said somebody. So now God have Esther in the right position, at the right time. Now she thinks she was just gonna be a beauty queen, but God had a purpose for her life. Haman had ordered a pole, to set out reaching the height of 50 cubits to hang Monica. Now he set a pole to hang Monica, but Esther set a banquet, on it, invite him. So he get there, he the only one that's at the banquet. The only one at the banquet. So the pole set a reaching to height of 50 cubits and asked the king in morning to have Monica impaled on it. So Haman had this pole set up for Monica. He was going to hang Monica and kill all the rest of his people. So Haman family and friends, who was ignorant, as he was suggested that did you set up the pole? Now they wants to see They wants to see Harriman kill Monica, his family and friends. They're gonna talk about, did you ever set up that pole for Monica? You know, so he was like, yeah. So having family and friends who reminded him about the pole. So a pole reaching so high. So Hammer House, now he had to set it up for Monica, who spoke up to help the king. So the king had said impale him on it so that he impaled Hammond on the pole that he set up for Monica. The table had turned. Now, he was so angry with Monica. So he just wanted to hang him and kill all his people. But then a table had turned. The table had turned. That same pole that he set for Monica. The king gonna put him on that. Put him on that king. Put him on that throne. Just like he had for Monica. So Hammond was so consumed with hatred towards Monica that he could not enjoy the party. Remember, he was the only one at the banquet. So he could not enjoy the party. Now his hatred had caused the table to turn and he was placed on the pole. So now we're not going to put Monica on the pole. Put him on that pole. The same pole that he had set up for Monica. And see, a lot of time the table can turn. He got so angry of who he was. So Esther had victory, by saving her people. God placed her at the right time, at the right moment, for a time to save her people. Now, having hatred that Monica and the Jews served God. He hated that the idea they served God. Now he ordered to kill him and his people, but Esther saved the day. Esther saved the day. Now, this is a story about Esther. God had placed her in a position. She thinking she was going there for just to be a beauty queen, and she thought that was gonna be her life. But God set her there for a reason, not for you to just be a beauty queen. God set you there for a reason. Set you in position for a reason. God set Hammond in position for a reason. So he can have power, so he can set the order in place. So Esther was called to save her people. She was placed in the right position at the right time. So we talk about the news about the abortion. The abortion needs to be lifted. Because these women is having threat on their life. So they need the abortion to maintain. I request that abortion be lifted. A woman cannot feel um, um, the trauma of the abortion, the threats on abortion. They have to have the abortion, because it's setting back on their health. So that's all I have for you today. Y'all have a blessed and safe night, and remember, a lot of time, when you at different places and you feel like you don't belong there, that's an idea of God. God place you in position. Place you in position, so when that time comes, you already right there to establish yourself and do what God had needs you to do. So that's all I have for you today. Y'all have a blessed and safe day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.